Hey everyone, welcome into this week's Razorback basketball update. Of course, our Kevin McPherson joining us, and Kevin bringing all the knowledge. Got a lot to talk about today, and we are going to start with some recruiting. We know that this Musselman staff always hot on the recruiting trail. So where they right now, and how are things going?
Well, Arkansas's got one of the most highly rated classes so far in the 2022 group. When you look at the trio of Joseph Pinion, Barry Dunning Jr., and Darian Ford, two of those guys being in-state players, obviously, been ranked as high as third in the country early on in recruiting. So, when you've got 3 4 stars, Ford being a top 50 guy, Dunning being top 75, you're going to look good in the recruiting rankings. But obviously, Arkansas is not finished. There's several 5 stars that have been on campus. We've talked a lot about those guys. But one of those players, the 7-footer out of North Little Rock, Kalel Ware, is set to make his announcement tomorrow, August 9th. And, the way it's looking right now, everything I'm told is Arkansas is not going to land his services. It's likely to be Oregon, possibly Texas. But things can change. You always leave the door cracked. You see players flip at the last minute, and in recruiting, it gets wild sometimes. So I'm not completely closing the door on Arkansas and the Hogs celebrating a 5-star commitment tomorrow, but I just don't see that right now, Alyssa. I think it's going to be another destination for Kalel Ware. And speaking of 5 stars, Nick Smith Jr., also from Central Arkansas, who is transferring from Sylvan Hills to North Little Rock next year, teaming up with Ware on a charging Wildcats team that'll come in as the prohibitive favorite to defend its 6A state title. He's also a 5-star. Nick Smith, 6'5" combo guard, showed really well at Nike Peach Jam. I got to see him and interview him on Monday, so early in the week, and went and watched him work out. But he's going to take his Arkansas official visit in September, the weekend of the Arkansas-Texas football game. So that's September 10th through 12th, that weekend, for an official visit. I think he's also going to visit Oklahoma. Kentucky's come into the mix. John Calipari offered him a scholarship at the end of his Peach Jam performances, which were outstanding, by the way. 31 points in the title game, more than half of his team's points in a close loss. And then Nick has been invited to Slam Magazine Summer Classic in New York City. That'll be in mid-August, and he'll be there with other 5-stars. So this is a big deal when you start looking at some of the top-level players in the state that Arkansas is still in pursuit of. And I transitioned that to a couple of guys, a fairly new name. We've talked about him last week, but Malik Renew, a 6'8" power forward that played for 17 and under Knight Riders on elite on that Nike YBL circuit. He's teammates on that team with Barry Dunning Jr., the Razorback commitment from the class of 2022. So Arkansas has kind of been on a fast track recruiting him through the month of July. As they went out to watch Dunning, they kept catching, Renew kept catching their eye with spectacular play. An ESPN top 35 player. He's got a who's who list of schools. He plays at Montverde Academy, one of the more prestigious independent schools in the country on the high school level. But Arkansas's made his top 7. And he's also been talking with Razorback coaches about setting up a visit. He's going to be doing a Zoom interview with the team, with the coaches very soon. So keep an eye on Malik Renew. And then Jordan Walsh, the other 5-star that visited Arkansas back in June. Arkansas continues to make him a priority. The 6'7" wing combo forward that's now going to play at Southern California Academy, but he's a Texas guy. And again, Arkansas, I think, is in great shape with him in terms of relationship and bond. We'll see what other visits he takes as his profile continues to rise. But that's where recruiting stands right now for class of 2022. Now, 2023, one of the local players, Bryson Warren, 6'2" point guard that played at Little Rock Central last year, North Little Rock the year before. He'll be at Link Academy, another national independent school in Missouri, next year. But ESPN ranks him the number 15 player in the country in class of 2023, a high-level 5-star. He took his unofficial visit a week ago. We talked about it on last week's show, but we didn't have any feedback yet because he was still on his visit when we did the show. But he told me the visit was great. He really liked the way Arkansas coaches broke down his game, showed him the good things he needs to work on and how he fits in the system. But he also talked about the Moses Moody factor, the fact that Arkansas had its first one and done, and a guy that went in the draft lottery. So that's a new talking point for visitors now. The draft was just a week ago Thursday, and that's been the first visitor on an unofficial visit, Bryson Warren, they've had in to be able to use that as an example of what will happen if you come to Arkansas. Eric Musselman knows how to market that, but that stood out to Bryson Warren, being able to identify with a local guy that stayed home, went to Arkansas, played for the Razorbacks, didn't need to go play for a blue blood to get to the NBA draft lottery. So interesting tidbits that came out of Bryson Warren's visit.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Moses Moody, and that'll transition us straight into those pro hogs that summer league in the NBA is starting. Moses getting out there and getting some action, as is all the other pro hogs. And so, what's an update with all of those guys at the next level?
So Moses Moody's already actually played in one summer league game. You had the California Classic earlier in the week, and Moody in his debut had 19 points, 7 rebounds. So he led the Warriors in scoring. He was tied for the lead in rebounds until another a guard got a rebound as time expired. But he just continues to show what he showed at Arkansas in his first NBA action. I mean, it's a summer league, so it's younger players, rookies, and guys still trying to make their way with roles in the league. But he showed well, and I thought defensively, he showed good ability to help in team defensive concepts. Obviously, the speed of the game is a little bit different at the NBA level, so adjusting to players, things moving more quickly. But I thought Moses showed very well. Just a few days after being drafted, it was less than a week after he was drafted that he got on the court. And now the Las Vegas Summer League, this is the big part of Summer League. It starts today. All 30 teams are involved. Moses Moody makes his Las Vegas Summer League debut tomorrow on Monday, nationally televised game on NBA TV. Isaiah Joe, second-year pro at Philadelphia, also makes his Summer League debut because there was no Summer League a year ago when he was a rookie because of the pandemic. So he'll make his debut tomorrow with the Philadelphia 76ers. And then today, you've got undrafted free agent Summer League signees, Jalen Tate and Justin Smith, the senior grad transfers a year ago that helped Arkansas get to the Elite Eight. They make their debuts on Sunday. Jalen Tate with the Houston Rockets, Justin Smith with the Miami Heat. Those games are also televised. And then Mason Jones, he played for 2 teams as a rookie last year. He was an undrafted free agent. He was on a 2-way contract, first with the Rockets. The Rockets released him. Then he ended up with the 76ers, who also signed him to a 2-way contract. He eventually was released. And then he signed a summer league deal with the Washington Wizards. Well, he was supposed to debut today when the Wizards played the Pacers in the Las Vegas Summer League. That game has been postponed due to COVID protocols. We'll see if that one gets rescheduled. But the Las Vegas Summer League runs from today through the 17th. So there'll be games every day, and these pro hogs will be featured on television. You'll be able to catch at least one of them every day through the next several days, to the 17th at least, Alyssa.
That'll be nice so you can have a little bit of your pro hog fix while we all sit and wait for football season to start here in a few weeks. So we appreciate that. Kevin, thank you so much for always bringing the knowledge. And of course, you can always read Kevin's articles here on our website as well and learn much more about what's going on in the world of Arkansas basketball. Kevin, thanks so much, and we will catch up with you next Sunday.
Always good to be with you guys. Good. And welcome back, Alyssa.
Thank you.
Great to have you back.
Good to be back, Kevin. Take care.